Brazil to deliver her statement. Good morning, everybody. Madam Vice President, last year I came here to this forum to speak of the Brazil we inherited. We had inherited a country inundated with violence, corruption, and in which many people had been left behind. But I'm coming back here today to this podium to present a new Brazil, a new nation. We decided that our priority would be to safeguard and protect the greatest of all human rights, the right to life. This year, I'm coming back here to say that we took the right decision. In less than a year, the number of murders has fallen by over 20%. This means to say that 8,000 people were saved from this terrible fate in Brazil in 2019. Fighting organised crime is another priority, and the number of rapes has fallen, and children have been protected more effectively than ever before. We've also provided Brazil with a new national human rights ombudsman, which receives around 22,000 telephone calls a day, including in other languages. These phone calls are answered in under 30 seconds. And at this new call centre, we will soon be able to receive video calls which will allow the Brazilian deaf community and deaf Brazilians living abroad to report rights violations. We're also fully committed to fighting corruption. Yes, corruption was the biggest human rights violation in Brazil of the past. The Bolsonaro administration inherited a state undermined by the systematic embezzlement of public funds. We are determined to change this situation. We will not use the discourse of human rights and social justice as a smokescreen for the institutionalized embezzlement of billions of dollars, which were supposed to be used for health, education, and public security. It's true, we are on our way back. In 2019, over $25 million of assets recovered from the jet wash operation were allocated to promoting the rights of adolescents in conflict with the law. The money from corruption is now being used in public policy to defend human rights. If there's no corruption, we'll have plenty of money to protect the rights of our Brazilians. One of these examples is the recent initiative of the Bolsonaro government to pay a life pension to children born with microcephaly as a result of the Zika virus. We will also be paying a month's subsidy in the biggest cash transfer program in the world, the Bolsa Família. We think that we must make further progress in this way. When it comes to promoting equality between men and women, I'd like to underscore that Brazil has sophisticated laws to protect and promote women's rights. In 2019 alone, 7 laws were adopted by the Bolsonaro administration aimed at fighting violence against women and girls. We're also committed to fully protecting children and adolescents. At the end of last year, we adopted a law establishing the first biennium of early childhood in Brazil for the period from 2020 to 2021. As I myself was a victim of violence in my own childhood, I am committed to the fulfillment of several treaties to protecting children, and I ask other countries to make the same commitment for those who will inherit our future. The rights of 25 million Brazilians living in the Amazon region warrant our special attention and care. Their rights have been neglected for years. A fortnight ago, the Bolsonaro government established the Amazon Region Council with a remit to propose and monitor public policy in the region, as well as for coordinating prevention, inspection and punishment of illegal acts in our Amazon region, particularly illegal deforesting. We are also promoting the rights of men and women living in forest areas. When it comes to fighting discrimination and violence against the LGBT community, we have published a report on the situation of LGBT people in Brazilian prisons. We will share that with you. This will allow us to draw up a procedural protocol and, in due time, a ministerial order setting rules for the management of special wings and cells in prisons. We've also increased the training and employability program for the trans population, with excellent results having already been achieved in 2019. Brazil continues to be committed to defending the free, universal and full right of access to the public health system. Since the start of this government, we have increased the budget to fight HIV, AIDS, hepatitis and other STDs by over 40%. Before I finish, Madam Vice President, I'd like to sincerely thank the 153 members who supported our re-election to the Council last year. We received more votes than when we were elected in 2016. Reflecting Brazil's credentials as a promoter and protector of human rights. We will try to strengthen the Council's vocation for preventing human rights violations. With a view to the promise that I made to the Council from this podium last year, we have been working to submit all the outstanding reports of Brazil to treaty bodies. The most overview was supposed to have been delivered in 2003. In addition, all the reports which have been due since we took over the government have been handed in on time, and for the first time we've submitted a mid-term review to the Universal Periodic Review Working Group of the Council, clearly showing the Bolsonaro administration's commitment and engagement with the international human rights protection system. We continue to be committed to receiving the visits of special procedures who show an interest in visiting our country. We received 3 special rapporteurs on visits last year, and we shall continue to schedule more visits this year in order to respond to requests. I would also like to underscore the important work of the fact-finding mission established in September 2019 to investigate reports of extrajudicial killings, enforced disappearances, arbitrary detention and torture and other cruel and inhuman treatment in Venezuela. We have deployed every effort to support the thousands of brothers and sisters who reach Brazil fleeing from the humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. We provided emergency support to over 1 million Venezuelans at our border. We're facilitating the recognition of refugee status. But we're particularly concerned at the hundreds of children who arrive in Brazil unaccompanied. They need the prospect of a free and healthy life, something which was ripped away from them by the unlawful and authoritarian regime led by Nicolas Maduro. So I am sad to reiterate our concern at the persistent and serious human rights violations committed in Venezuela. We stand ready to help in whatever we can the fact-finding mission, and we call all involved to cooperate with the mission so it can perform its duties. In Brazil, Venezuela, anywhere in the world, no one should be left behind.